Today is Thursday, November the 5th, and the market just went crazy today, convinced that we're going to have a split government and that we will have a change in direction. Let's look at the McClellan oscillator because we didn't look at that yesterday, but it's been really, really, really important for us as we've been doing these videos. Now we're approaching the oversold line. The last time we were here, was on this rise here of the Dow Jones, and all throughout this rise we stayed above the oversold line. You can't really see it here, but it's about for 3 or 4 days, and then we went to overbought area. I always make that mistake. And then we went for the oversold, and we stayed there for quite oversold and we stayed there for quite a while as we did this drop here. And now we've come up, but now we need to go and look at the S&P. And where we're headed to, without a doubt, is 35.88. Today's jump in the market was 67 in the S&P. Now, if we put 67 on top of 35.10, we get darn close to 35.88. So tomorrow is Friday. Wouldn't expect it tomorrow, because there's going to be some election news probably over the weekend, although a lot of Pennsylvania might be announced tonight, but a lot of it is looking at November the 12th for some of the states. And when is that? That's 7 days from now, so that's next Thursday. We could have uncertainty, which is going to give the market time to get to 35.88. Now the big stock that we're following is NIO. And let's look at it on a daily basis first. This is a Japanese car maker. Now, I called it the Tesla of China, and then somebody pointed out, rightfully so, that Tesla is more than cars. But Tesla builds cars in China, but they don't build cars for the Chinese market. This is a company that's building cars for the Chinese commuter. And if you think of the millions of people that are living in densely populated areas, and the pollution problems they have, China is going to force, because they can, because they're a communist government, they're going to force people to go to electric vehicles. So it's a great opportunity to be able to get into this stock at this early stage. We're looking at this. Unfortunately, it's got too much noise here. We can turn that off with our lovely motive wave, but look at this candle today where we finished right at the top of the candle. No pullback going into the close. Volume a little bit more than yesterday, but we've had 3 days now of institutional buying. I was looking at it on a 5-minute basis, and let's turn the comments back on again. Is that the one? No. Is that the one? There we go. So again, I was communicating with a friend of mine. I'm trying to teach him some technical stuff. And I told him to look at the Woody's pivots. Last night I said, now take a look at how we open the day. And we'll probably go up to the 200% fib line, which is actually what we did perfectly. And I said we'd probably pull back because we did the last time, and we did. Now I was hoping it would come down to the pivot point, but it never did. I did say, though, that the prior high, the prior high was right here, which was yesterday. The prior high would be where we should pull back to, but it didn't happen. But where was the prior high? It was Woody's pivot points. These pivot points were determined today based on yesterday's movement. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the pivot points are tomorrow. But if they follow today's, then our target is 43.47. Now I added another couple of hundred shares today, and any pullback to 41.61, and I will add 200 or 300 more shares tomorrow. This is going to be a barn burner of a stock, and this is what makes trading fun, these kind of stocks. Now Apple hit resistance level 3 on the Woody's pivots. Let's get the Woody's pivots out of here now because we're looking at a daily chart. And let's bring in the cloud. Look at that. We've broken through the cloud on the daily. The Chiku span did a nice little bounce 2 days ago off the top of the candle, finished above the candle today nicely. So we've got lots of room to go for Apple. Apple is probably going higher. Let's draw a little Fibonacci on Apple and see what we've got. So let's take this. Let's take our prior high down to the prior low. Now notice I didn't take this candle. I decided I would take the average of the two because that was possibly an anomaly. And let's do our Fibonacci's that way. Oops, sorry. Let's drag that over. We're approaching 23.6 left before you hit the zero. So the Fibonacci's are working. Look at this. We came back down to the 38.2 and we took a bounce. That's why we know the Fibonacci's are working. If we can do them the other way around, and let's do an extension. You can see our pullback to 61.8. Our next one is 78.6. And then we're going to 137.8. So Apple is strong. I added a couple of more short puts, December 115, and I collected $4.10 for those. I'm a little bit worried that if Trump does pull it out, that the tech stocks might pull back. So that's why selling the puts is fine. I'd be very happy owning Apple at 110 or 115, and that's where my puts are. Caterpillar did a nice little bounce back today. Let's get rid of the pivot points here, and let's bring in the cloud. And Caterpillar looks like it's going to come back and test the 170. So there's a nice stock to be looking at as well. Home Depot continues to just be on a tear. Here's the 1 day. Let's get rid of the woodies. Again, we're looking at coming back to this level before. So do a green line here and take out those Fibonacci's because they don't look really all that good. We'd have to find a different set of Fibonacci's, but you can do that. The target is right here, and the range that we're going to trade in is there. So there's the range for Home Depot. I wouldn't buy it now. I would wait for it to hit 292 and then come back as it's done once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5th time, and then when it comes down the 6th time, that would be a great time to buy. The banks are doing well. Look at this. U.S. Bank up $1.46. Pretty much all of the banks were probably doing well. We had Bank of America up 4%, Goldman Sachs 2.5%, J.P. Morgan up 4%. So when the banks are doing well, that's a good sign for the economy. Anything else we want to look at here? Let's look at, Shopify. Do you remember when this stock was, I don't want to remember. What a great stock this has been, and we weren't in it. Tesla, well, you know the Tesla story. Pulling back, it's just not a stock that I trade. SPL came, remember when we were looking at that breaking 100? Now it's at 207. So the market may seem overpriced. Things are really expensive. We are going to hit 35.88. There's no question about that. Are we going to rip higher than that? I don't believe we will. I believe we will have a sell-off, which will just be an opportunity to buy because the economy is going to come back, I would think, end of first quarter next year. That's my guess. So NIO, keep your eyes on that. It's an affordable stock, $43. We're not talking about, means you can buy 100 for $4,300. It's not like Google where you need $17,500 to buy 100 shares, or Netflix or any of the others, Tesla. This is a stock you can have fun with, and the options are reasonably priced. They're a little bit expensive because of the volatility built into them, but the bid and the ask range isn't that bad, so take a look at it.